What is inflation? Bees use honey to buy things. Honey used by most bees as currency. Pollen costs 2 drops of honey. Nectar costs 3 drops. Wax costs 5 drops. But then something happens. Next month, same pollen costs 3 drops of honey. Same nectar costs 4 drops. Same wax costs 6 drops. Nothing changed about pollen, nectar, or wax. But everything costs more honey. This is inflation. When prices go up and each drop of honey buys less than before, why does inflation happen? There are main reasons prices buzz upward. First reason is demand pull inflation. All bees suddenly want more pollen than usual. Maybe spring comes and everyone builds new cells. But flowers can only make so much pollen. More bees want same pollen, so sellers charge more honey. Simple supply and demand. Pollen becomes more valuable because more bees buzz after it. Second reason is cost push inflation. Drought hits meadow. Flowers struggle to make nectar. Now costs flower sellers more work to get same nectar. Sellers pass higher costs to bees. Bees don't want more nectar than before, but still pay more honey. Higher costs get pushed to final price. Third reason is built-in inflation. Bees expect prices to rise, so they make prices rise. Worker bees think honey prices go up next month, so they demand higher wages from queen bee today. Queen agrees because she expects to charge more for royal jelly. When everyone expects inflation, they act in ways that create inflation. Self-fulfilling prophecy spreads through entire hive. How is inflation measured? Bees track inflation using shopping basket. Basket filled with things typical bee family buys. Pollen, nectar, wax, propolis, royal jelly. Each month, bees check how much honey it costs to buy same basket. If basket costs more honey than last month, that's inflation. If basket costs 100 drops in January and 103 drops in February, inflation is 3%. This called Consumer Price Index or CPI for short. Types of inflation. There's creeping inflation. This when prices rise slowly, like 2 to 3% per year. Most economists think this is healthy for hive economy. Keeps bees motivated to spend honey instead of just storing it forever. Then there's galloping inflation. Prices rise very fast, like 10 to 50% per year. This makes it hard for bees to plan. Worker bee negotiates wage in spring, but by autumn same wage buys much less honey. Then there's hyperinflation. This is scary one. Prices rise so fast that honey becomes almost worthless. Imagine pollen costs 2 drops today, 20 drops next week, 200 drops next month. Bees start trading pollen directly for nectar because honey changes value too fast. Historical example, some hives experienced this and bees had to carry wheelbarrows full of honey just to buy single flower. What causes inflation to get out of control? Usually starts when hive prints too much honey. Queen bee needs to pay for big projects, like expanding hive or fighting wasp invasion. But queen doesn't have enough honey in treasury. So queen prints new honey and spends it. Now there's more honey in hive economy, but same amount of goods. More honey chasing same goods means prices go up. Sometimes inflation happens because of supply shocks. Imagine storm destroys half the flowers in meadow. Now there's much less pollen and nectar available. But bees still need same amount to survive. Prices shoot up because supply went down but demand stayed same. This called supply-side inflation, effects of inflation on bees. For worker bees with fixed wages, inflation is bad news. If worker bee earns 100 drops per day and inflation is 10%, next year that 100 drops only buys what 90 drops bought before. Worker bees' purchasing power goes down. Worker bee gets poorer even though wage stays same. For bees with debt, inflation can be good. Imagine bee borrowed 1,000 drops to buy new cell. With 10% inflation, next year that 1,000 drops is worth less. Bee pays back debt with honey that's worth less than when bee borrowed it. Inflation helps debtors and hurts lenders. For businesses, moderate inflation can be good. If bee sells royal jelly and costs stay same but prices rise, bee makes more profit. But if inflation too high, customers stop buying because everything too expensive. Business suffers. How do bees fight inflation? Main tool is interest rates. Queen bee central bank raises interest rates. This makes borrowing honey more expensive and saving honey more attractive. Bees spend less and save more. Less spending means less demand for goods. Lower demand means prices stop rising so fast. Queen can also reduce government spending. If queen spends less honey on projects, there's less money flowing through hive economy. This reduces demand and helps cool down inflation. Sometimes queen uses price controls. Queen says, pollen cannot cost more than 3 drops. This might work short term, but usually creates problems. If sellers can't make profit at 3 drops, they stop selling pollen. Then there's shortage instead of high prices. Deflation is opposite of inflation. Prices go down instead of up. Sounds good, right? Actually, deflation can be worse than inflation. If bees expect prices to fall tomorrow, they stop buying today. Why buy pollen for 3 drops today if it costs 2 drops next month? When everyone stops spending, economy slows down. Businesses fail. Unemployment rises, the sweet spot. Most economists think small amount of inflation is healthy. Around 2% per year is target for many hives. This keeps economy growing without causing major problems. Too little inflation and economy stagnates. Too much inflation and honey becomes unstable. Modern challenges. Today's hive economies face new inflation challenges. Global supply chains mean storm in distant meadow affects local honey prices. Digital honey and cryptocurrency add complexity. Some bees worry about asset price inflation, where cost of hive real estate rises faster than general prices, future of inflation. As hive economies become more connected and complex, understanding inflation becomes more important for every bee. Whether you're worker bee, business owner, or queen, inflation affects your daily life. Key is understanding how it works so you can make better decisions with your honey. What do most bees say? Keep learning about economics, because knowledge is the sweetest investment of all.